Okay, ladies and gentlemen, after quite some time, I think it is more than 10 to 15 minutes. The compilation is finished. Please accept my apology because of I'm using the two different operating system, and therefore it is not reliable in terms of the speed. Okay, so now I'm going to set my username and password. This is my phone username and password. Because I just want to give you an idea about the setting up using the display of the Arduino IDE for Windows. Okay, so same also like I mentioned to you before, this is the an IDE only. And then as you know, inside my ThinkSpeak over here, I got a channel, and then I'm going to update another new channel which is under the testing over here. Perhaps I'm going to adjust the UITM prototype over here, and I'm going to use the newly available device that already been created by our friend during our class just now. So if you listen over there, there are some movement with regard to the new available device that already been created by our friend. So now I'm going to disengage the connection of the USB drive. If you saw just now, there is some prompt that indicate whether I'm going to use the Mac or the Windows. So I'm going to enable the Windows enabling configuration for my ESP. So now my ESP is running, but I need to setting up the API and also the ID. Okay, so I'm going to use the same thing just to simulate to you. The data are going to be fed on the IoT ThinkSpeak. But remember, this is not a good way in doing so, because one of the reason, because there are two, as I mentioned before, one device is only for one channel. But for the purpose of the example, only to share with you, to ensure that there is no error with regard to the upload of the code. Therefore, I'm going to redo it again. But of course, I need to shut it down one of my devices, okay, so that they will not conflict with each other. Okay, so it may take quite some time in terms of compiling and uploading everything. So I'm going to fast forward the video for due to the time constraint. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, after waiting for I think 7 to 10 minutes, and then the connecting just now is going to be like ... and I already pressed the boot button until the writing up is already done, and then the done uploading status is already indicated over here. Then I can go to the serial monitor and then make sure that the baud rate is similarly being set up according to my setting up baud rate over here in the setup function. So you can see over here, I already set up the serial.begin at the 115200. So similarly, if I open to the serial monitor over here and then press for the EN button, so they are going to be observe something like this, but they have some error with regard to the BMP280. So one of the reason is because of the SDA and SCL, or perhaps because of the different address over here. So let me just change a little bit here and there, and then see what will happen if I'm going to make changes. Stay tuned. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, after exploring everything, then I noticed the address of the BMP can be either 0 times by 76, or the address can be 0 times 77. You can choose either one. But during my further exploration, I noticed the main issue of anything is actually your connection. So you have to look back that your connection for the OLED display or the LCD must be at the, what we call it as the 3.3 volt, and then followed by the ground. For the sensor of the BMP, it does not mind, because you can also set it up as 5 volt, because it's a 5 volt tolerant. And then the other things, make sure that the SDA SCL are being connected correctly. So you can see over here, it's already been connected, it's already also been configured, but you can see the date and also the time is not correctly modified. Okay, so to improve this notion, or to improve these issues, perhaps what you can do is basically proceed with the RTC by Makuna, as I explained to you before. Just go to the RTC by Makuna and then proceed by the DS3231 underscore simple, and then upload this code. And remember, if you want to upload this code, make sure you detach or dismantle or disconnect the RX wire from your PMS, and then just waiting for quite sometimes to make sure that the upload is completed. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so now the time is already being compiled according to the computer time. So you can do the same thing by just proceed to the upload. So I'm using the IZ Wi-Fi here, is actually my hotspot from my phone, just to give you the example on how the data are going to be sent into my ThinkSpeak account. So this is the ThinkSpeak account that are going to be observed in terms of the updating of the new data from my sensor. Okay, so we just have to wait for a while and then see the update after this. Okay, if you can see my serial monitor, it is already indicated the error over there because I did not connect with my PMS. So now I already connect to my PMS, and then you can see that there is a date, time, and then this is the temperature, this is the pressure, and then this is the CO2. If I am not mistaken, this MQ135 that I have might have a slightly different issue. Let me just change in terms of their sensitivity. Okay, I already changed the sensitivity using the potentiometer at the back over there. And then there are some error with regard to the SD card module. This is normal because I did not install any SD card. So let me just put a new SD card over there, and then just restart by click the EN button, the enabling. So initialization, writing the data, file does not exist, creating a file, attempting to connect. So let us just wait for a while. Okay, so appending to the file data is also failed. So one of the reason, as I mentioned before, is due to the wire. So please double check your wire, make sure that the wire is properly being connected to one another. For example, the CS. CS is the chip select. The chip select should be located at the D5, and then followed by the SCK. SCK should be connected at the at the 18. Okay, SCK is the green. The green is already been connected to the 18. Okay, correct. Mozi is the blue color of my wire. Mozi should be at the 23, correct. Mizo should be at the 19. Other than that is the VCC and ground. So just double check everything. VCC and ground. So VCC is there, ground also is there. So just let me double check everything to make sure that, okay, sometimes it's because of the poor connection due to the losing here and there, and therefore you might get the error display. So let me just double check. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so as I mentioned to you before, one of the reason that possibly impact your performance and the ability to use the SD card is because of the connection. So make sure that you double check your connection, especially on your VCC and ground. Make sure that you attach the VCC and ground at the adapter you can see inside the adapter you also attach your OLED display. So on the OLED display they have the 3 volt and then ground, and then on the left side you have the 5 volt and also ground. So make sure that you install it correctly with the positions of the correct ground and also 5 volt VCC. So this is the example. Make sure that the BMP, or we call it as your temperature, pressure and altitude sensor, BMP280, is correctly attached to the SDA SCL 5 or 3 volt and then ground, followed by the SD card. Other than that, it's actually same. You are going to get the same result as I mentioned and give it to you the example here in this video. Either you are going to use the window or you are going to use the Mac, the output are going to be resulted the same. So for those who are having trouble, can follow it through and then try it back again and again. Be patient about all this because this is quite a new experience for you. Until then, see you again next time. Thank you. Bye bye. Assalamualaikum.